Dolby. Welcome to the dog walk. What are we going to do after the show, Ross? Do you want to see a movie or something? Like one starring me? No? You know, maybe I should force you to watch Cats again. This is the start of something big. Who's perfect? When I said I wanted a pool boy, Russell wasn't quite what I had in mind.
This is 7 News Queensland with Amanda Abate.
Our top stories on 7. The southeast swamped, king tides and beaches closed as Dalby residents clean up after a weekend deluge. Coronavirus officially now deadlier than SARS as evacuated Australians spend their first day in quarantine in Darwin. Margot Robbie misses out, but not in the fashion stakes. We take you live to the Oscars and why masked men attacked the famous street art in a popular tourist spot. Good afternoon. The residents of Dalby on the Darling Downs have been cleaning up after the weekend deluge. Torrents of water flowed through the town's streets, but most residents escaped inundation. Farmers have welcomed the long-awaited rain. Joel Dry reports.
Well, here in Dalby, the hundreds of homes that were sitting in the flood zone overnight, they have all been anxiously watching the level of the Mile Creek to see what it would do. Thankfully, there was no significant rainfall overnight, so it continues to recede. What that has exposed, however, is a massive clean-up for the dozens of properties that had water through their bottom level, their backyards, their sheds, and now they all resemble a very muddy mess. We spoke to one of the people who faces the difficult task.
Didn't really have enough time to rescue my stuff, like my tools and mower and all those sort of things, but in the end I had to rescue some animals, some chooks and things like that, and put them on the trampoline.
Our community's been absolutely fantastic. I see people already out about cleaning up their properties, which is great to see. There's a lot of community pride.
This is still a good news event, however. There has been significant rainfall right across the Maranoa, the Warrego districts, and also the Lockyer Valley, where the farmers have been rejoicing the constant wet weather.
126 mils in this recent event, and we've had 233 millimetres for the year. 3 millimetres short of our entire 2019 rainfall in the last 24 days.
There is more rain forecast for the coming days. The Bureau tells us between 15 and 30 mils is forecast for a wide part of Queensland to the west of Brisbane. This is really starting to look like a great start to the season for many people on the land.
Excess water combined with extra high tides is whipping up rough surf off southeast beaches. On the Gold Coast, most of them were closed and conditions too dangerous for swimmers. Carly Madsen has the details.
This is the highest tide we've seen so far this year, peaking just after 9 o'clock this morning at just under 2 metres. That, combined with extra water being flushed out of our creeks and rivers at the moment, has made conditions very unstable across most beaches. Council made the call this morning to keep most beaches closed.
You get knocked off your feet, and if you're not a strong swimmer, you can get sucked out to sea quite easily.
At Snapper, surfers made the most of the swell, but most people were just happy watching.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be out there. Wouldn't be out there at all.
It's a bit messy. There's a few nice ones coming through.
It created a spectacle at Currumbin too, the foaming wash sweeping into the Surf Club car park. In Surfers Paradise, there were more canals than usual. Streets were swallowed when the king tide backed up the stormwater drains.
Been a wet week, so we've had a bit of fun.
But these conditions are fairly minor compared to what we could see later in the week. Each day, wave heights are expected to increase as that cyclone swell moves closer to the coast, expecting to peak by Friday and Saturday. That, combined with easterly winds, could bring waves of up to 4 metres.
Well, now to Tony Auden, and the cyclone in question has been named. Tony.
Good afternoon, Amanda. Yes, cloud has been building and Cyclone Uwasi has now strengthened to a Category 2 system. It's currently sitting over 1,300 kilometres off the Queensland coast between Vanuatu and New Caledonia. Uwasi is expected to move south. It could reach Category 3 briefly, but then likely will weaken later this week. It'll help create this strong fetch of winds blowing towards the Queensland coast, though, and that in turn will whip up those huge swells. Now, those waves are currently around 2.5 metres off southeast Queensland, but that could well push up, as we've heard, closer to 4 metres by by late Thursday into Friday and Saturday, and that would likely cause some pretty significant erosion on our beaches. For now, though, it's all about these storms, and a line is moving off the ranges and towards the southeast coast. Severe thunderstorm warnings are current. The main threat is heavy rain at the moment. Now, amongst the storms, our crews also managed to capture this funnel cloud today near Oakey. It didn't touch down or cause any damage. Funnel clouds are generally much weaker than tornadoes. Plenty happening. Amanda, I'll be back soon with the forecast.
Thanks, Tony. Queensland's Chief Health Officer has revealed 7 Cairns locals are in self-isolation after showing potential coronavirus symptoms. However, she is satisfied there are still only 5 confirmed cases in Queensland. They're currently stable in the Gold Coast University Hospital. She hinted 1 or more of those patients could soon be discharged.
We've seen in New South Wales a number of their earlier cases have been released, so we have a nationally agreed process for how that's to work.
Dr Young says the Red Cross organisation, as well as Queensland Health, is now giving advice to people who think they have symptoms. The reported cases of coronavirus have spiked, with the outbreak officially now more deadly than the SARS epidemic. More than 800 people have fallen victim to the virus. Most of the almost 40,000 infected people are around the centre of the outbreak in Wuhan. Estelle Griepink is in Darwin, where Australian evacuees are in quarantine.
Good afternoon. Well, here in Darwin, 266 people have just spent their first official day in quarantine after being flown in from Wuhan. They are spending the next 2 weeks at a former mining camp in Howard Springs here in the NT. And while they're there, they will be subject to daily health testing, including temperature checks, and they'll also be required to wear masks when they're around other people. Apart from that, though, it should be a relatively comfortable stay for the group. There is a swimming pool, basketball court, cafeteria and pool tables, and the health authorities have told us that they believe that everyone in that group remains healthy. On Christmas Island, close to 300 evacuees remain there, but in a little bit of good news, a little girl who was thought to have contracted the coronavirus has since been cleared. There are currently 15 confirmed cases of coronavirus around the country, 5 in Queensland, 4 in New South Wales, 4 in Victoria and 2 in South Australia. The Deputy Chief Medical Officer says at this stage it's quite unlikely that more evacuees will be brought here to Darwin.
Some former racehorses will still end up in slaughterhouses following an independent inquiry into the management of retired horses. 55 recommendations have been made, including the establishment of a rehoming program for ex-racehorses and a code of practice to ensure humane treatment at slaughterhouses.
To say that we'll have a situation where all former racehorses will be rehomed is not what the report says, and that's not possible.
As part of the recommendations, around $4.7 million will go to the Agriculture Department, $1.2 million to the Queensland Racing Integrity Commission. Indonesia's President Widodo says a new era is beginning in relations between his country and Australia. This morning, the President became the only second Indonesian leader to address federal parliament. Tim Lester was there.
Our Prime Minister and the Indonesian President have a scheduled meeting each year. This year's is attracting more than the usual amount of pomp, partly because the two sides are about to implement a trade deal. Among issues discussed today, Indonesia's need for energy sources, also concern over the travel advice Australian authorities sometimes give for Indonesia. The country has a rapidly growing $1 trillion economy and yet is only 13th on our list of trade partners. Both sides now expect that to change quickly under the new trade deal.
A mutually beneficial arrangement, one that sees the integration of our economies. Indonesia will be one of the star economies of the world over the next 10 to 20 years.
My visit to Australia this time marks a new beginning of a new era in the Indonesia-Australia relation.
And fault lines continue to emerge in the Federal Nationals and the Coalition. Queenslander Lou O'Brien says he's informed the Prime Minister he will still give the government his support, though might cross the floor on select issues. This as former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull calls the Nationals' push for government funds to build a coal-fired power plant nuts. He says the plan is a recipe for higher power prices.
Margot Robbie has missed out at the Oscars for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Bombshell, but there were many other winners. Let's go live to Ashley Mullaney at Dolby Theatre in Hollywood. Ash, it's Hollywood's Night of Nights. Who were the biggest winners of the evening?
Well, the big winner and the big story tonight, Amanda, is Parasite. The South Korean film has made history tonight as the first foreign language film to take out the Oscars top prize with Best Picture this evening, taking out 4 Oscars in total. For the most part, the predictions were on the money. We saw Joaquin Phoenix take out Best Actor for The Joker, Renee Zellweger for her portrayal of Judy Garland. As you mentioned, Margot Robbie missed out to Laura Dern, but it was Brad Pitt's night tonight. He took out Best Supporting Actor for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it was quite a heartfelt speech.
I'm a big gobsmacked. I'm not one to look back, but this has made me do so, and I think of my folks taking me to the drive-in to see Butch and Sundance, and loading up my car and moving out here, and Gina and Ridley giving me my first shot, to all the wonderful people I've met along the way, to stand here now. Once upon a time in Hollywood. Ain't that the truth?
And Ash, it's certainly all about the glitz and glamour. Some remarkable gowns on the red carpet tonight.
Yeah, for the most part, everyone was very elegant, very sleek. There was actually just a lot of classic black dresses here tonight, not a whole lot of colour. We're just sort of seeing people pouring out of the Oscars now, and those after parties about to begin. Perhaps one of the biggest fashion statements of the night, though, was Natalie Portman. She wore a cape tonight, which was embroidered with the names of female directors who had been snubbed from that category tonight. But of course, this is a party. It's not all about politics, and the party is just about to get started over at the Vanity Fair after party. Amanda?
Okay, thanks very much, Ash. Well, Sydney swamped, drivers stranded, suburbs evacuated and homes without power as floodwaters rise. A widow's heartbreak on the day the man accused of hitting and killing her cyclist husband was due to be sentenced. And tourists watch on in horror as vandals target a famous artwork.
Inside the secret prison in the heart of Brisbane, men in detention and guards on every floor. A special investigation. Tonight, only on 7 News.
Missed it by a whisker last time.
Can the Mount Isa mums laugh all the way to the grand final again without 2 of their own team? My Kitchen Rules, tonight 7:30 on 7.
Got my plant-based Rebel Whopper, your triple Whopper cheese.
My double Homestyle Whopper.
Try Hungry Jack's new Homestyle Whopper with iBacon, barbecue, chipotle and crispy bacon. Whopper your way, only at Hungry Jack's.
What strange magic is this? How did I get here?
It's okay, man. It's a 5G thing. It's called bandwidth. That's how we all got here. It means more players can play different games all at the same time.
Witchcraft?
When something goes wrong and you're injured at work or on the road, you need the right advice. Contact Shine Lawyers to access compensation through your superannuation.
I can't afford to be off work.
Shine Lawyers. Let's right wrong.
Just spill it out now, however you will. Let's get it out in the open. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. Tell her now. Spill it out, don't miss this moment to show her.
Show her that you know her with the new Pandora Valentine's Day collection.
Liven up your lunch with Tip Top sandwich thins. They're super soft and light, and each one is only 99 calories, so you can enjoy a softer, lighter lunch. Now available in Tip Top burger thins.
When choosing paracetamol to relieve pain, it's important to know not all are the same. Panadol with Optizorb has an advanced formula to deliver paracetamol more efficiently and be absorbed faster. Imagine this is your stomach and this vinegar your stomach acid. Watch how Panadol with Optizorb's patented delivery system goes to work. Panadol Optizorb, fast and effective pain relief that's gentle on the stomach. Available at your pharmacy or supermarket. This has been Medifax for Panadol with Optizorb.
There are lines that help with the everyday things, while others can quickly turn into something more dangerous. When storms hit, look out for fallen power lines. Take care, stay line aware, call 000 or Energex.
Introducing new Jumpstart by Light and Easy, the new program that will help fast-track your weight loss success in 2020 and have your taste buds jumping for joy. Jumpstart your 2020 weight loss goals today with Light and Easy.
Get the stories that matter with The Advertiser. For just $1 a day for the first 8 weeks, get the paper home delivered 7 days a week, plus full digital access. To subscribe, call 1-800-323-555.
Let's work at Tucky Mints. To the left, to the right. 1 and 2 and 3, all right. Feeling fresh, feeling fine. You're 500 grams for $3.99. Yes, you are. Aldi. Good. Different.
Flood emergencies are unfolding across Sydney as we go to air following the city's heaviest downpour in decades. Emergency personnel have been caught up in the chaos, one crushed by a falling tree south of the city. Peter Fegan has more.
The investigation is still ongoing, but at roughly 12:45 this afternoon, emergency services were called to Missingham Road in Robinson after reports a 37-year-old man had been crushed by a tree branch. It's understood he works for an energy company and was cutting trees away that had fallen onto power lines in yesterday's storms when a tree branch had crushed him in the bucket of his cherry picker. That 37-year-old was then airlifted to Liverpool Hospital in a critical condition and he had gone into cardiac arrest. Today's call was one of more than 4,000 calls emergency services received for help yesterday. Close to 150 people had to be rescued from floodwaters alone as Sydney was hammered with its biggest rain event in 30 years. The worst hit areas were in the southwest of Sydney and the northern beaches. Suburbs like Chipping Norton, Milperra and Moorebank and other suburbs along the Georges River were the hardest hit in the southwest. Dozens of homes were evacuated, residents warned to move to higher ground. In Milperra, an SES volunteer was taken to hospital after he was bitten by a snake, helping families to escape their flooding homes. I'm told he will make a full recovery. Authorities want to remind people, although the rain has eased today, the threat is still real. Do not drive through floodwaters, and if you do have an emergency, dial 000 immediately.
A mysterious video is circulating on social media showing what appears to be a monster shark in Sydney floodwaters. This is Narrabeen Lagoon on the northern beaches yesterday, usually a popular swimming spot for families and children. But one sharp-eyed resident filmed what some locals say is a huge shark cruising through the water. It wouldn't be the first time a shark has been spotted in the area, but other witnesses now claim it was simply an overturned paddleboard. An arrest warrant has been issued for the man accused of killing a renowned cycling safety advocate in a Sunshine Coast traffic crash. The alleged drug-affected driver was due to be sentenced today but didn't show up in court. Simon Nichols reports.
Police are hunting for John Joseph Taylor. In November 2018, he was allegedly behind the wheel of a ute under the influence of drugs when he hit cyclist Cameron Frewer on Caloundra Road. The father of 3 died at the scene. Frewer was a prominent national road safety advocate. He spent years filming close calls between cars and cyclists, posting the videos on social media. He promoted the message, "Drive safe, stay wide." The accused driver, Taylor, was due to be sentenced in district court this morning but failed to show. Taylor's legal representatives were visibly furious. His defence barrister, Simon Lewis, told the judge his team did everything they could to get their client to appear. Taylor last faced court on Thursday when he was advised today's sentencing was scheduled. His defence team have now withdrawn from the case. Cameron Frewer's widow, Catherine, sat in the public gallery supported by family and friends. She was distraught, shaking, waiting for the case to begin. When it was announced it wouldn't go ahead today, she was inconsolable. Catherine had planned to read a statement in court telling the accused the effect of losing her beloved husband. The Frewer family now have to wait even longer for any sense of justice or closure.
A huge clean-up is underway after masked vandals destroyed street art on the walls of Melbourne's much-loved Hosier Lane. Police are now investigating the attack, as Nick McCallum reports.
Hosier Lane is one of Melbourne's top tourist attractions. People come here from all around the world to see the street art. On Saturday night, a group of around 8 or 9 people in masks came here on a commando raid, effectively. They had fire extinguishers full of paint and sprayed all over the existing artwork before fleeing. Tourists here this morning said it was all part of the culture here.
It's street art. You should expect the unexpected.
I feel the spirit of youth here.
It's unfortunate that they painted over all the artwork, but I feel like we'll get new artwork in the future now because of it, right?
But the manager of Culture Kings, a business in the lane which actually sponsors a lot of the street art, said it was insulting.
When you're coming through and destroying people's art, I don't think it's part of a culture.
The Melbourne City Council used contractors to clean up the mess on the cobblestone laneway this morning. The council itself will lodge a complaint with the police.
They are vandals, they are criminals, they have really assaulted a part of the city that's very special.
But having said all of that, the Lord Mayor wants new taggers like James to come down to paint over what happened on Saturday night.
It's a free spot now, you know what I mean? And then when someone goes over my stuff, that's cool. That's the way it works.
Experts tell us this is all part of a culture war between radical proponents of graffiti and the more commercial style, new age street artist.
Staff and shoppers terrorised by a gang of armed thugs in a suburban Woolworths. How customers tried to confront the group. The beginning of the end for an 80s relic. What's changing in Brisbane skyline? And a travel nightmare as hurricane force winds smash the UK.
On 7 News, king tides, beaches closed, parts of the southeast swamped. Tony Auden with what to expect next. Coronavirus latest, quarantine students back in class. Hollywood's Night of Nights, all the Oscars action. And True Blue, Dick Johnson's famous Ford back on the track. All the details at 7 News at 6.
Australia's biggest ever Brekkie TV prize. Could it be you going for the $1 million dig? Find out how on Sunrise.
What if I said there was a big world full of toys? What would you say? Mr. Toys Toy World, of course. At Mr. Toys Toy World, we have one of the biggest ranges of toys and Lego in the land. Great prices every day on your favourite big brands. Toys, Lego, Nerf, Barbie, board games, action figures, scooters and more. Mr. Toys Toy World. We're the big name in toys and Lego. Big on value, big on choice, big on fun. We're big on being number one. Mr. Toys Toy World. The big name in toys and Lego. There's a store near you.
My science project. It's due tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Start by layering the paper.
Glue and paper.
Alex!
Hey, take it seriously. Don't be sorry with it.
Good, right?
Oh, wait. It's not due till next week.
Save the day with Vodafone. When you bundle your services on one account, what are you waiting for?
Queenslanders, it's time to get more out of your holiday. Royal Caribbean is calling. Calling all Memory Maxes. All Taste Bud travellers. Calling all Mic Droppers and Sun-Kissed Warriors. Calling all seekers. It's time. Book your Royal Caribbean holiday today. Come seek Royal Caribbean.
When you want to update your home's air conditioning, you'll want air with smart automation. Air that's quiet. And air that saves energy. A lot of energy. Isn't it time you updated your air conditioner? Mitsubishi Electric. Works for me.
We spend 1/3 of our lives at work. Another third in dreamland. And that sacred last third, here. From home time to sleepy time. IKEA designs around life's precious moments. So wake up happy every morning. even Mondays. Make mess, mohawks, and laugh until your belly hurts. Because with IKEA, there really is no place like home.
Right now, Bridgestone Select's Monster Sale means huge savings on car and SUV tyres to suit every budget. For tyres and auto service you can count on, you're always in safe hands at your local Bridgestone Select.
Can you guess why I picked it?
We all pick things with our heart. But when it comes to car insurance, it pays to pick with your head. If you're 25 or over, we'll beat any comparable comprehensive renewal notice. Plus, save up to 15% online. And as a Woolworths car insurance customer, get 10% off your grocery shop each month. So get a quote online and switch today.
That's why I picked Woolies car insurance.
We have pictures of a terrifying scene now showing the moment a gang of youths terrorised shoppers at a Woolworths in Melbourne's southeast. The masked defenders stormed the Lyndhurst store, demanding a trolley full of goods before throwing an object at staff. One of the men then attacked a woman working at the store. They made their getaway empty-handed and remain on the run. Demolition is underway on one of Brisbane's most recognisable buildings. Hotel Jen and the Transit Centre are making way for Cross River Rail. As Steve Titmus reports, the site became famous in the 80s.
The start of demolition today will see the beginning of the end of one of Brisbane's most iconic hotels. The Travelodge was built in the mid-80s.
I know that many people have stayed at the Travelodge here in Brisbane in the past, particularly in its heyday in the late 80s, and certainly was the place to be during Expo 88.
The Minister says demolition will be complete by the end of the year.
For too long, the Roma Street station has been an eyesore for Brisbane, and we're going to completely transform this precinct.
It's a delicate operation. Major scaffolding has been erected.
Over 1,000 tonnes of scaffolding has been installed around the old Hotel Jen, and that'll be part of the demolition process. It creates safety, dust suppression, and allows the management of the demolition in a controlled way.
We'll be removing each layer by layer, to minimise disruption to local business and traffic.
Coming up tonight on 7 News at 6, the Minister's response to whether the budget for Cross River Rail will blow out.
While Australia's east coast has been hammered by wild weather, conditions are just as extreme in the UK. This is what locals are facing in England right now. There's widespread flooding across several counties with a severe warning for parts of the north. Airlines have cancelled dozens of flights while rail passengers have been urged not to travel. But some cyclists braved the elements, powering through in the Dutch Headwind Cycling Championships. Facebook is once again under fire after a gunman live-streamed what has now become Thailand's deadliest mass shooting on record. 29 people were killed and more than 50 others were injured in Bangkok after a soldier went on a rampage. The 16-hour ordeal came to an end when the attacker was shot dead in a shopping centre. Facebook is facing questions over why it took 5 hours to take down the sickening video. And passengers aboard this Boeing 737 had a terrifying ride as it made a hard landing at a regional airport in Russia. The Russian airliner developed a problem with its landing gear and ended up skidding along the icy tarmac. All 96 people on board escaped uninjured. If you're on the Gold Coast, The Chase is up next. Then join me for your local 7 Gold Coast news at 5:30. For the rest of Queensland, a Brisbane GP in court, why he's accused of exploiting patients who have died. The latest celebrity restaurant empire on the brink of collapse. And the ultimate gesture of love, why Valentine's Day will be extra special for this Queensland couple.
Monsieur? Yeah, it's cool. I'll get the bags. I love the seashell design, very reminiscent of a 90s bathroom. Welcome to Pooch Perfect!
Fit Me Matte and Poreless from Maybelline, New York. Fit skin tone and texture. Blurs pores, stops shine. Australia's #1 liquid foundation. Available in 40 shades. Fit Me Matte and Poreless, only from Maybelline, New York.
Try to stay in the lines, honey.
Look, 2 lines. Lucy!
Please stay behind the yellow line. It won't be long.
We spend our lives looking at lines. Don't miss the ones that matter most. Take care. Stay line aware.
Brisbane just keeps getting better. There's $500 million for better flowing roads and solutions to get you moving. Great! This is Bris Better.
What if I got more points for stuff I already do? Like getting a cheeky Uber? Or booking a weekend away after a long week?
Get more points per dollar. Search Westpac Altitude Rewards Card.
RACQ rescues 1 in 3 drivers each year. Like today, when Toby replaced 4 batteries, changed 2 tyres and saved 6 princesses. For your happily ever after, trust RACQ Roadside. Sign up or upgrade today.
Old hobbies need new homes.
I'll take them.
Gumtree. Long live local.
This is 7 News Queensland with Amanda Abate.
Welcome back. Making news this Monday as Dalby residents clean up after widespread flooding on the Darling Downs. Gold Coast authorities are bracing for more damaging big seas and high tides. Several beaches have already been closed. Cases of coronavirus have spiked, with the outbreak officially now more deadly than the SARS epidemic. More than 800 people have died and 40,000 are infected worldwide, most of them in Wuhan, China. And the award for Best Picture at the Oscars has gone to South Korean comedy thriller Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho. It is the first time a non-English speaking film has won the category. A Queensland GP is on trial accused of rorting the Medicare system. It's alleged some of the patients he claimed to have treated were dead. Marlena Watt reports.
Queensland doctor Tony Bakare is accused of making false billing claims to Medicare worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's alleged he made the dodgy claims through Medicare Online between 2014 and 2017. In the district court this morning, he pleaded not guilty to the charge of obtaining a financial advantage by deception. The prosecution alleges Dr. Bakare claimed Medicare benefits for services he never provided because the patients were either dead or he was overseas at the time. The court heard he owned a number of bulk billing medical centres, including one in Underwood and a number on the Gold Coast. An investigator for Medicare who trawled through Bakare's claims and bank account statements was the first witness to give evidence. Other witnesses will include doctors who worked at Bakare's medical clinics. The trial is expected to last all week.
3 young siblings killed in a horrific car accident in Western Sydney last weekend have been laid to rest. Robert Abate has more.
It is a terrible day, none worse than for the Abdullah family. Danny and Layla Abdullah, the kids' parents, have been so dignified in the past week or so at Oatlands. Today, everybody felt their pain. I think there might be around about 2,000 people here today, friends, family, and some who didn't even know the family but are part of the wider Lebanese community in Sydney. It was a very, very religious service, a Maronite service. In their belief, the kids are in a better place now. So there is a degree of happiness tinged with extraordinary pain for the family.
Thank you for the beautiful and Christ-like precious lives of Anthony
Angelina and Sienna. Fly high, little angels, we pray to you, O Lord.
Among the dignitaries paying their respects today, the Premier Gladys Berejiklian, Jenny Morrison, the wife of Prime Minister Scott Morrison, representing the federal government, and also Minister David Elliott here. It was on February 1st, a Saturday night, that the kids were bowled over, 7 of them in the one group, allegedly by Samuel Davidson, who is now facing more than 20 charges in relation to the kids. But his name wasn't mentioned here today, only the word forgiveness.
You said the words of forgiveness that stunned the world. Stunned the world.
While the 3 children were farewelled today, tomorrow there will be another sad farewell, that of their cousin Veronique Saker, who was among the group when they were mowed down at Oaklands.
There's more trouble today for celebrity chef George Calombaris. His entire hospitality empire is reportedly on the verge of collapse, with crisis talks now underway. More from Laurel Irving.
Well, George Calombaris is one of our best-known celebrity chefs, but there are reports that the restaurant group he founded, made establishment, is now in deep financial trouble, with reports a crisis meeting may well decide to appoint administrators, leaving the future of its 18 restaurants and more than 500 workers very much in doubt. Of course, George Calombaris and Made Establishment were also at the centre of a major underpayment scandal last year, forced to pay back more than $7 million in wages to workers. But experts say the restaurant industry as a whole is having a shocking summer, that tourism has been very badly hit by the coronavirus and bushfires, that wages are an extraordinary amount, about 50% of business costs, and they're being very much undercut by online competitors as well, that it's a very tough time for anyone in the restaurant game right now.
It is a perfect storm, and this is the first time that all of these conditions have come together to affect the restaurant, cafe and catering industry.
George Calombaris has also put his mansion up for sale in the exclusive Melbourne suburb of Toorak and has yet to comment on these latest developments.
It's been a relatively quiet start to the trading week on the Australian share market. Here with the details is Stephen Daglian at CommSec.
Well, good afternoon, Amanda. It was a very cautious start to the week. We had shares only down by about 0.1% today, but there's plenty to focus on in coming days. Dozens of Aussie companies will release profit results. The 2 largest will be Commonwealth Bank and the largest company in the healthcare sector, CSL, but also there'll be many others, including Telstra. Today we had mining and energy companies doing quite poorly, still on concerns of the coronavirus and less demand for our commodities in China. But the worst performing company was building products maker Boral, which fell by about 11%. So the company warned that it's had a very challenging start to this calendar year, partly due to bushfires, so it thinks its profits will be lower, and that hurt other companies in that sector, including Fletcher Building, which fell very heavily. Insurance companies like IAG hit the lowest levels in about a year. Of course, plenty of bad weather in the East Coast at the moment. The Aussie dollar finally sits at about 66.9 US.
The Queen has asked Prince Harry and Meghan to join the rest of the family for the Commonwealth service at Westminster Abbey next month. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex sent shockwaves through the monarchy when they resigned as senior royals. The couple is expected to return to the UK with baby Archie for a final round of official engagements before settling into their new home in Canada. A Queensland husband has set the bar high for Valentine's Day this year, giving the life-saving gift of a kidney to his wife. Elliot Chipper is at Princess Alexandra Hospital, where the couple are recovering.
It seems chocolate and flowers aren't going to cut it for Valentine's Day this year. Husband Lee Anstey has given the ultimate gift to his wife, a kidney. Having been poisoned on a farm and living with a damaged kidney for over 30 years, Lee Taylor's condition worsened last year after she caught the flu.
When you've got a limited amount of kidney tissue, it's hyperfiltrating, so it can't go on forever. It's winding its way down.
Facing a lengthy wait on dialysis, husband Lee said it was an easy choice to donate rather than see his wife suffer.
When you're looking at the girl that you love dying, it's not a hard decision to make.
With advances in medical technology and surgeons no longer requiring a direct blood match, Both operations were successful despite a lengthy pre-surgery routine.
I'm just so grateful, and I've had fabulous care all along the way. And it's been rigorous, but you really need to protect the donor.
Now, when I asked Lee if her husband was off the hook for this Friday, she did say that because of dialysis, it had been a while since she'd had any sweets, giving the not-so-subtle hint that she'd still like some chocolate.
Of course. Shane Webke has your sport next, and we're live to the red carpet ahead of cricket's Night of Nights. Also, how 3D printing could help prevent heart attacks, the exciting new research, and the cat's in need of a cuddle this Valentine's Day.
In storms and cyclones, instant information is vital. 7 News leads the way. Tony Auden is a certified meteorologist and is only on 7 News.
Australia's biggest concert event of all global superstars. The nation's greatest performance. Celeste Barber and Australia's favourite stars in support of Australia's bushfire victims. Live, the sellout event. Firefight. Sunday, 1 p.m. live on 7.
Emma! Good heavens. Have I missed the party?
Oh, Mr. Elton!
Oh, dear.
Emma in cinemas Thursday.
You still there, Dad?
It's okay, mate. I'm here. You're doing great. It's nice to be needed, right? Actually, Rach and I need to sort out our life insurance so that the boys would be okay if suddenly one of us wasn't around. Hey, can you give me a hand finding a policy?
To get the right life insurance policy, don't leave it to chance. Leave it to Choosy. Choosy's team of choosers make it easy for you to compare a range of policies. Call them now on 13 70 67. Simply tell them the payout you'd want for your family if something were to happen, and they'll get comparing. They'll help you be choosy about the cover amount. They'll help you be choosy about the benefits. And they'll help you be choosy about the costs. That way, you'll choose the life insurance that's right for you and your family. Do it now. Call 13 70 67 or go to choosy.com.au to compare, choose and apply. When it comes to insurance, don't leave it to chance, leave it to Choosy.
My favourite thing about Tip Top Sunblest is it's a beautiful, simple loaf. So it really brings all the great things we've learned over the years about baking. So it's got everything you need in it, it's got everything people want. Flour is sourced locally from Aussie farmers. And that's one of the things that makes Sunblest an Australian bread and a people's choice. A perfect loaf, and it will have a nice, even, golden colour. It has to be good enough to be in part of someone's stack.
Tip Top Sunblest. Closer to home than you think.
Check out Woolworth's great new specials this week.
Like Bataki Premium Boneless Leg Ham. Sliced or shaved from the deli. Perfect for back-to-school lunches. Now only $21 a kilo.
That's why I pick Woolies.
My science project. It's due tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Start by layering the paper.
Glue and paper. Alex! Hey, take it seriously. Don't be silly with it.
Good, right?
Oh, wait. It's not due till next week.
Save the day with Vodafone. When you bundle your services on one account, what are you waiting for?
Games so close, they'll change.
Asia.
Like that.
Taiwan.
Oh! New Chase Game Changers Week. Next on 7.
Our biggest killer is under scrutiny like never before. In a world first, Australian scientists are studying how our stem cells behave during a heart attack thanks to groundbreaking 3D printing. Helen Wellings explains.
Heart disease kills 50 Australians a day. So in a world first, scientists here are studying how patients' stem cells behave in a heart attack. The stem cells are made in the lab from heart patients' skin or blood. These are used to make personalised bioinks to 3D bioprint mini hearts.
Stem cells are kept in this incubator. Then they are used to make
mini hearts, and then these mini hearts are used in our 3D bioprinter to 3D bioprint mini hearts.
Oxygen is cut off during a heart attack for a short time. Then it comes back, leading to the release of toxins in the coronary artery. This heart attack process can be exactly copied in the mini hearts.
Actually behaves like a normal human heart, so it becomes easier for us to check all the things which are happening in the human heart.
This is the type of groundbreaking research that we fund. We are encouraging people to wear red to show your support for heart research.
The beauty of this technology is that scientists can also test drugs on the mini hearts to see how individuals react and the side effects.
Let's have a quick look at today's sport now. Here's Shane.
Thanks, Amanda. Hello, everyone. Queensland's Marnus Labuschagne's one of the favourites to take out the top gong at tonight's Australian Cricket Awards in Melbourne. It's where we find reporter Andrew McCormick. And Andrew, he's got a bit of competition.
Oh, Webby, absolutely. It's been a buzz of activity down here at Crown over the past hour as players and their partners have just started coming through with official proceedings to get underway in just over an hour or so. But Marnus Labuschagne, probably in a three-way race, you'd say, one of the more open Island Border medal races in years, this folk count tonight. Pat Cummins looking to go back-to-back. And, of course, David Warner, who had a nightmare Ashes campaign but had a dominant summer with the bat, highlighted by that triple century in Adelaide. So it could be a chance to take out another Allen Border medal is David Warner. But Marnus Labuschagne, the great Sachin Tendulkar himself says out of everyone in world cricket, Marnus is the one who Tendulkar thinks reminds him most of himself. Pretty big praise, and I spoke to Labuschagne a short time ago.
I did fall upon that, and I was very excited. I must say I did. You know, for someone of that calibre to say those sort of things about you is pretty special.
If you had one question, what would you ask Sachin?
Oh, I'd definitely talk about batting. I'd talk about batting for as long as I could, and try and pick his brain about the game, how he played in different conditions and stuff like that.
Marnus, absolutely loving the praise from the Indian great Sachin Tendulkar. Of course, tonight you'll see it live and free across the screens of 7. The Belinda Clark medal also up for grabs. Alyssa Healy and Elise Perry, the main chances for those. Webby?
Sounds like a big no. Thank you, Andrew. Titans half Ash Taylor has been given the chance to put a year from hell behind him. He'll make his return in the number 7 on the weekend at the NRL Nines in Perth. The playmaker had a rough 2019, making just 10 appearances and taking mid-season leave to deal with personal issues, but has impressed his new coach over the summer.
Not too much pressure on him this weekend, but you know, I've said a number of times over the last probably 14 weeks, you know, how well he is going at training. And
the Titans squad includes Origin star Jai Arrow and several new faces, including former Broncos Jonas Pearson. Michael Gordon's been lured from retirement to play in the tournament. Tears of joy flow for the Aussie Opals in France as they booked their ticket to the Tokyo Olympics. Liz Cambridge stood tall with 29 points, 7 rebounds and 5 blocks in the 14-point win over Brazil sealing qualification. Players were overcome with emotion as the clock ran out, none more so than Cambridge, who nearly quit the sport after the Rio Games.
Joy and ecstasy for Sandy Brondello and the Opals. Beautiful scenes from Bourges, France.
The Opals will chase their first Olympic gold medal in Tokyo. Amanda, plenty more at 6.
Okay, see you then. If you haven't found a Valentine for Friday, it's not too late. The Animal Welfare League on the Gold Coast is offering cats for company.
At the Coomba shelter, love is in the air. 34 felines all looking for a significant other to spend time with on Friday.
Sometimes Valentine's Day can be lonely, so everyone's welcome to, sometimes cats are better than a person.
These adult cats have been reduced to just $29 each to help empty the shelter during AWL's busiest time of the year. Some residents have been here for more than 5 months.
We do have a lot of cats coming in. Sometimes we can have, over the weekend, 20 cats and kittens come into care.
Animal lovers are urged to come and meet the cats, each with its own special personality.
Some are snugglers, some are a little bit more aloof and happy to live sort of a bit more of an independent lifestyle, but some are really affectionate and outgoing.
And potential adoptive parents are impressed.
We're just looking for that perfect little kitten for our lives. They're just gorgeous little creatures. I love them.
We obviously want to help as many cats as we can, and we got another room for another one, so why not?
The special discount will be on offer all week. Dion Savage, 7 News.
Well, how much more rain is on the way? Tony Auden has your forecast next. Also, what is a snow moon? The spectacular sight high above the Acropolis. And the quest to crack the case of a frog with 5 legs.
Inside the secret prison in the heart of Brisbane, men in detention and guards on every floor. A special investigation. Tonight, only on 7 News.
Good afternoon, Dave Andrews here in the Super Cheap Auto Services traffic. Chopper had an earlier crash on Gympie Road coming through Strathpine, just around the shopping centre, cleared off fairly quickly and traffic moving well. A 4-car nose to tail wrapping up here on Coronation Drive outbound in the right-hand lane, just around Hale Street. Delays back over the Riverside Expressway and Captain Cook Bridge and back down to about the Gabba, and the Western Freeway slow through Moggle Road. Need vision? If your windscreen wipers are streaking or squeaking, chances are they're due to be replaced. Super Cheap Auto can check your wipers and fit new ones for you. Conditions and charges apply. I'll see you tomorrow.
Wife, mother, these are my roles. And then you came along. The divorce has finally come through. And I've met someone.
Oh, we're not ready to order yet.
No, this is the someone. Benjamin, these are my children.
What's he after? Gold digger.
Marriage is forever. It's being able to say what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
New Gold Digger, tomorrow after MKR on 7.
Creating something that feels just right. That's an art. It needs just the right amount of room to move. Elegant lines, a unique flow. Everything exactly in its place. Precisely crafted and beautifully finished. So when you try it, well, you just know. All new Mazda CX-30. Everything just right.
A few days ago, John had muscle pain. Then he discovered Voltaren Emel Gel. It relieves pain 2 times faster and reduces inflammation to help get you moving sooner. And now introducing Voltaren Emel Gel with an innovative no-mess applicator. Targeted pain relief without having to wash your hands. Now with a no-mess applicator.
The game that makes the most millionaires is giving you 20 million more reasons to get super excited this Saturday. Gold Lotto's $20 million Super Draw Saturday. Wouldn't it be nice?
It's time to see the world in 2020 with Scenic. Book an 11-day luxury France River cruise and fly for $125. See your Scenic agent or call 138 128 today.
A lot of people wake up in the morning and take their first step and suffer severe pain, and they don't know what it is. They live with it, they endure it, but they're in pain and discomfort all day. The Good Feet 3-Step system is uniquely designed for people dealing with the pain and discomfort caused by plantar fasciitis, by providing support from the very first step of the day until the very last.
See for yourself with a free personalised arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
At Image Blinds this month, you'll save 35% off blinds, awnings and shutters. That's right, 35% off the entire range. Call Image today for a free measuring quote on 1300 657 100.
Take a look.
Games so close, they'll change.
Asian.
Like that.
Taiwan.
New Chase Game Changers Week, next on 7.
Good afternoon, you're watching 7 News. Checking the weather now, and severe storm warnings are current for much of the southeast at the moment. Jumping to the radar, we've seen a line of cells moving off the ranges and slowly pushing towards the coast. Now that line is breaking up, but we could still see some pockets of severe weather later on towards coastal areas, but not necessarily everywhere. Having said that, warnings are current right across the region here in these yellow areas. Now zooming out, thunderstorm activity has taken off ahead of a trough right across southern and eastern parts of Queensland. A lot more rain, welcome in many spots, but there is some flooding going on as well. In the west, Cyclone Damien has weakened, but way out towards the east, Cyclone Uwasi has increased up to Category 2 near New Caledonia. Now, that system is expected to move south over the next few days, eventually bringing some very large swells onto our beaches around late Thursday into Friday and Saturday. But in the meantime, more storms over southern and eastern parts of Queensland tomorrow. Now, around the nation tomorrow, pretty wet right along the east coast. Pack your brolly if you're headed to Sydney and Canberra. Showers on the way there. Rain starting to clear in Hobart later in the day. Now back to Queensland, checking the forecast for the tropics. More showers and storms along the east coast around Cairns, Townsville and Mackay. In contrast, Mount Isa, a sunny top of 40 degrees. Heading south, that storm activity hangs around too. Not torrential everywhere, but slow-moving cells may again bring that localised flash flooding. Now, sunny 40 degrees in Longreach, then a different story further east. Storms and 35 for both Emerald and Rockhampton. Now, across the southeast, keep an eye on this evening's storms and any warnings as they slowly amble to the coast. Then more showers and storms tomorrow, peaking in the afternoon. Again, heavy rain possible under slow-moving cells. 30 at the top in Brisbane. Rain easing later this week. Amanda, all the details coming up at 6.
Thanks, Tony. Let's check in on what's coming up in the news at 6 now. And Sharon, an exclusive investigation into asylum seekers detained in a Brisbane hotel.
Yes, Amanda, some of them have been there for more than a year. They're under constant watch by security guards less than a kilometre from the city centre and unable to leave. We speak with some of them and show the conditions they're living in.
And we'll have more on the southeast's wild weather.
Yeah, you almost don't know where to look at the moment. There's so much going on. King tides and rising swells on the Gold Coast, and the big clean-up begins further west where 2 years' worth of rain has fallen. And as Tony just mentioned, there are more storms on the way.
And Dick Johnson's best-known car is back on the track.
Yeah, Amanda, True Blue, that famous Ford that hit a rock at Bathurst, was today put through its paces at Lakeside, restored and roaring once again. But did it all go smoothly? We had that exclusive. And, of course, all today's top stories coming up in 7 News at 6.
OK, thank you, Sharon. Skywatchers have been treated to a spectacular sight, a rare snow moon. These incredible pictures show the moon over the Acropolis in Greece. The lunar spectacle was perfectly framed by the columns of the ancient citadel. It gets its name because of its rapid colour change, glowing a deep red before transitioning into an icy white. Now let's check in on social media. The Oscars are obviously dominating chatter online, with Margot Robbie's vintage Chanel gown clearly a crowd favourite. Comedian Kristen Wiig's dress sparked debate. Is it a lasagna, caterpillar or cuttlefish? And a Mackay woman has taken to the internet to solve the mystery of an old frog she found in her backyard, struggling with a fifth leg protruding from its neck. The little amphibian will now undergo surgery. Experts will also conduct tests to see if the mutation is a natural phenomenon or something more sinister. We would love to hear your thoughts. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. That's Queensland's 4 p.m. news for this Monday. Stay with us now for The Chase, then 7 News at 6. I'm Amanda Abate. See you soon.
They were grand finalists.
Missed it by a whisker last time.
Yeah.
Can the Mount Isa mums laugh all the way to the grand final again?
I was going to shake the bejesus out of it.
I think the bejesus has been shaking it.
Without two of their own team.
I feel extremely hurt and betrayed. They're not even worth it. They're not even worth my time.
What the hell?
I love it. I love it. It looks exactly how we want it to look.
With their teammates gone, will the House of Manu fall apart? Or will the Mount Isa mums have the last laugh?
Two stunning tarts.
New My Kitchen Rules on 7. The Mount Isa mums cook tonight, 7:30.
These four strangers must work as a team to win